Still, I'm not as superstitious as some folks, but I still don't like. I still say PIG and I still say longtail. And that's by different skippers had different. Some of them are really, really superstitious. Like I can only speak like local. Well, you don't know what you're doing it when you're young. You know, if you whistled at sea, you were whistling up a storm. If you put the brush, you used to sweep the decks. If you put the brush on the cod end, it meant you're going to have a clean sweep. You're going to lose all your gear. Or on the hatches was the same. You couldn't put a brush on the hatch. So you had like the fisherman hatch boards, which would maybe consist of 4 or 5 boards. You know, what dimension at fisherman hatch, whatever it was. When you took the fisherman hatch off, if you put one of them on upside down, you would get a smack round here, because that was inviting the ship to capsize, or your hatches were upside down, meant it was an omen. I mean, my dad was, he was and he wasn't with some things. We didn't like cross knives on the table, which I don't know if that's a seaman's omen or just a natural bad luck thing, I don't know. The colour green, my dad hated green. I don't know why, because my boat was green. And he had a boat called the Good Samaritan. What he bought was green, and he painted it blue straight away, changed its colour. But green has been very lucky for fishermen in Scarborough. I would think the top fishermen in Scarborough, the main prizes, and Colin Jenkinson, all their boats were green. And they were top dogs, you know. And I've even taken a vicar to sea, which was voodoo. That wasn't allowed. But we had a vicar lived opposite here. He was as close as I got to the church, and he was like a fisherman's friend, because he would come in pub. He's passed on now. He was as close as fishermen got to the church. And his name was Charlie Bubbins, and he wanted to come to sea one day. And I took him, and the skipper didn't know he was a clergyman, of course, but till we were at sea. And then we used to joke with him, because in them days he'd go to sea for a week at a time. And we weren't fishing very well, and we used to say to Charlie, come and say a few words, see if we can get us a little bit of fish in our nets. And no, it was...
did it work?
Yeah, I think it did on that occasion, yeah. Times in Scarborough. When they were having a bad run of luck, you've heard of the witches, and if a ship's loaded with witches, even a witch's knot, if you pull a rope in and it's got a knot in it where it shouldn't be, you know, even if it's an overhand knot in your head rope, it's a witch's knot, it's an omen, it's bad omen. You never leave that rope like that, you take the knot out and different things. And when the old skippers were really down and not earning any money, and that happens in fishing a lot, and you wonder what's up, and you get when your last resort is to burn the witches. So they used to go around the top rail of the boat with a torch, a lighted torch, and burn the witches off that ship, else to get the luck back. Else.
When you're talking about witches, were there people in the town or Scarborough that you kind of felt carried bad luck or were bad?
Yeah, there was people who you didn't like to see. I mean, I'll tell you a story about an undertaker, what nobody liked to see. We've got a lad even on the scene now, what they call Norwest Nigel. But every time you see him, he's a postman. He's a postman. Nobody likes to see him because you get northwesterly winds. But Arnie, the undertaker, I've seen. Well, we were lowering crab pots in when I first left school with my father, and Arnie come from Leeds or somewhere, and we were lowering pots into the boat because he was an undertaker. We got the last pot in, so we maybe had 150 pots in the boat. We pulled them all out again and started again because he turned up.
Wow, gosh.
And I think he was, yeah, and women dressed in black, and you hear all these tales about black cats and cross-eyed women.
Because where I come from in London, black cats are unlucky, but here they're lucky.
Well, yeah, they're supposed to be lucky to go into sea, but some of them have different views of it. Some of them won't go because they've seen a black cat when they're going down to sea, and different things. And cross-eyed woman, but how are you going to see a cross-eyed woman when you're going down to sea? You're going to have to look very close to, and well, different things. I think a lot of it comes down from generation, what fathers passed down, and you get brainwashed with it, and you believe it to be true. So, well, there's bad omens with. I mean, you never kill a seabird. You're never supposed to. The albatross, what you heard about. But locally, you never kill a seabird because we're all supposed to come back as
seabirds.
As seabirds, yeah. And that could be another reason for the green, what we were on about earlier, because when fishermen die, they go to Fiddler's Green. Oh, yeah. So Fiddler's Green is supposed to, if you've been a long time seaman, 50 years or so, you die, you go to Fiddler's Green, like the Vikings went to Valhalla. Fishermen all go to Fiddler's Green, so green was probably bringing it forward a little bit. You don't like to see the green. It's just the big thing is you'll find fishing families all over, just the animals. I think that is the top of the list with most fishermen will come in with a PIG.
And are there any lucky animals like dolphins or anything?
Well,
like
dolphins, they always say lucky, don't they, if you see dolphins, but that where it comes from, I don't know. They always say a dolphin, the Lord's with you, and it comes back to religion, a lot of it, and it's what you want to believe, because it's the same the other way. If you've got sharks following you, they say that's a sign of death and different things, you know. But black, I mean, black is a sign of death on shore as well as at sea, so people didn't like black, but